indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You do need roll.
Again, this meeting was advertised by law, as we noted before. So can I have a roll call, commissioners?
Roll call.
Councilman Zabrowski.
Here.
Mr. Grillo.
Here.
Mr. Starr.
Here.
Mr. Davis. Here. Mrs. Duffy.
Here.
Ms. Fisher.
Here.
Councilwoman Robert.
Here.
Thank you, everyone. I hope everybody had an opportunity to review the minutes from the March 28th, 2024 meeting. If so, are there any requests for revisions?
Mr. Chairman, I have a question.
Sure.
But before I ask the question, do anyone hear an echo other than me?
Yes.
I thought I was losing my hearing last month, and this month I have an echo.
Joan, you might want to mute your laptop.
Thank you.
Let's see now.
Testing 1, 2, 3. We still have that? Yeah. And then I think, shall I hear it coming through?
Turn off the volume, Joan, on the laptop itself. Not Zoom or whatever you're.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Is it all right, man?
Say something, Rosetta.
Testing. Yes.
I think we did.
Sorry about that.
Rosetta, did you have a question in reference to the minutes?
Yes, I do.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I was going to question F, but from the amended agenda, it has been moved under 5C. So I'll hold my question for that one. But I noticed there's a T-Mobile invoice. Is this going to be an ongoing? Can you explain,
Yes.
Mancho, about
Yes.
that? And also,
It is for the cell phone for myself.
okay, and then on K, we have the VMS planning. We have our first invoice for February and March, but I don't see any work product sheets attached with that. So I read the resolution, and I know it's a $1,500 a month fee, but shouldn't we get paperwork to say that work was actually done for Sarah during that month to show some type of work product for the planner?
This is the planner basic retainer services that we had agreed on, $1,500 a month for that covers her attending the meetings, covers her reviewing plan, and I think she's been ongoing. But I think instead of specific to that, I think what we'll do is we'll have a planner's monthly report of activities, and that will help support that retainer. That's what we agreed on.
I'm only saying because,
No, you're
mentioned
right.
transparency, and if
Right,
it's gonna be
absolutely.
transparent,
Yes,
then we need to know that the planner is actually working for Sarah.
correct.
And,
That's a good point.
The report could be part of the
Right.
yeah,
agenda.
but I did notice on some of the other, the engineer's report and also, the attorney reports, we noticed the breakdown.
On their invoices,
Right.
yes.
Right.
Because they're basically our engineer, our planner, our attorney are billing on an hourly basis, and they do the billing that way. Well, with the planner, we agreed on a retainer basis, on a fixed retainer
Okay,
basis.
I
So
under- I
she has no hourly
I
billing.
understand that,
So-
but we also need to know, if this is an annual contract, we need to know that the work that the planner is doing is actually for Sarah.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah, no, we'll get her to put together a report. We'll have a monthly report at the meeting, and that will give you an idea what the planner, work is being done. Okay?
I just want to get back to approving of the minutes before we get to authorization of payment of bills. Does anybody have any if everybody's reviewed the minutes, if you have any recommendations for any modifications to those minutes? If not, I would take a motion to accept the
Mr.
minutes.
Chairman, just one,
Sure.
and that's in, you say we're advertised with the Home News, but the Star Ledger wasn't listed. And we have invoices for both the Star Ledger and the Home News about the dates.
Oh, the annual meeting notice has to go into two newspapers.
But it's not on the minutes.
Can I ask for an amendment so we can include that and then a recommendation to adopt the minutes? Yep.
Okay, I'll make a motion to amend the minutes to include the Star Ledger in addition to posting on the bulletin board and the Home News Tribune.
I'll second.
And is that also a motion to approve with that amendment?
Yes.
Okay, and that's a second as well? Roll call?
Councilman Zabrowski?
Yes.
Mr. Grillo?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. David? Mr. Duffy?
Yes.
Mr. Fisher?
Yes.
Councilwoman Robert?
Yes.
Thank you, Joan. Now we on to 5A, which is authorization for payment of bills, non-LL. And we can continue that discussion, but I do agree, some report would be very helpful from our planner. Are there any other questions in reference to
Yes,
A
for
through
point of
K?
Clarification from Ms. Fisher. Are you looking for an hourly tracking report or are you looking for a written narrative concerning the work?
A summary is fine.
Okay, I just wanted to be clear for the
A
record.
summary that states that this work is being conducted on behalf of Sarah.
That's more than, yep. Any other discussion on A through K? If not, I would ask for a motion.
Make a motion to approve on a roll call vote.
Second? Second. Joan?
Councilman Zabrowski?
Yes.
Mr. Grillo?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. David? Mr. Duffy?
Yes.
Ms. Fisher?
Yes.
Councilwoman Robert?
Yes.
Thank you, Joan. 5B, authorization for payment of bills, NL related, non-escrow, to be paid when funds are available, and we have L and M.
Make a motion to approve on roll call vote.
Councilman Zabrowski?
Yes.
Mr. Grillo?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. David? Mr. Duffy?
Yes.
Ms. Fisher?
Yes.
Councilwoman Robert?
Yes.
5C, authorization for payments of bills to be paid from escrow accounts to be paid only if escrow funds are available, N, O, and P.
I have a question.
I have
Sure.
a question.
Go ahead.
Ed, you want to go first?
Yes, there's an invoice for Phoenix Advisors
Yes.
dated 2023. Can you, anyone explain what that is?
Phoenix, you go.
Phoenix Advisor is a financial advisor hired by Sera as well as Borough. Both has hired Phoenix Advisor to guide in a financial agreement with the developers. And specifically, they also do negotiations on pilot. And I think, Glenn, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think, and all this activity has been going on with a number of projects that's already been approved. For example, he has worked on Arsenal warehousing project. He has worked on NL Insight Development Club Pure. He's working on Landfill 3. So all of those projects is being, he guides us, advises, he goes in deep negotiation. The Phoenix Advisor. There's two and I think maybe one sometimes we'll ask him to come here and report on all of those things. But I think from my understanding, he has done an excellent job in increasing the pilot payments for the borough.
Well,
He's
well,
never, excuse
yeah.
me,
can I finish
go ahead.
first? Thank you. This is addressed to the business administrator, not
Right.
Sarah.
Yes. It addressed to the business administrator, but since where Sarah is also, collecting, and these are just so you know, they're getting paid out of the escrow funds that we get from developers. This is not our own funds payment. That's why they're listed under the escrow. It was moved, I think somebody did question about it. It was part of the Sera bills, but then it was, and we initially thought it was Borough. In talking to Borough CFO and administrator, it was agreed that all of those financial advisor, because it starts from Sarah, that it will remain with Sarah, and Sarah will cover it, through the escrow collection.
Sarah's never paid them before.
Rosette, I can add that. Sarah hired them as our financial advisor in July of last year. They've been the borough's financial advisor, and in terms of what they actually do, they work with me and with the BA and the CFO to work out the numbers on the pilot agreements. They do spreadsheets, they do calculations, et cetera. That's
I think the question is that, and I think it's a valid, this, for me, I haven't seen this bill before, and I think that's why they're raising a question, Mike, that, we're paying, Sarah is paying it. But just again, Sarah is not paying, just like a town or us, when we're paying from escrow, it's a developers covering the cost, not us.
But the point is that you've never paid. So
We
are you gonna-
never, I
going
don't
forward-
recall any bill.
Going forward, is Sarah going to be responsible for Phoenix bills?
Yes, that's what
Even
we
the ones that
agreed
come
on.
through from the borough?
We
Whatever work
agreed-
whatever work they do, whether it's for Sarah or the borough, Sarah's going to pay for it.
Well, they're gonna be, Sarah is gonna be involved only in activity where there's a redevelopment project and there's a financial agreement, redevelopment agreement and pilot agreement. We're not gonna pay for financial advising to the borough on a different aspect that is not related to the Sarah project.
Then we'll get an invoice from them.
Right,
There'll be a detailed invoice.
yes,
Okay.
okay.
I just want to say, because I have something else to say further down the line, but this all goes back to so-called transparency.
Correct.
Okay? Now, we have a new administrative assistant,
Yes,
which no one knew about until she was hired and here.
Okay.
Okay? We have a new executive director, which nobody knew about until he was hired and here. From what I understand, and I could be wrong, but it says in the bylaws that the agency is responsible. They may employ such additional personnel as it may be necessary to exercise its powers, duties, and functions as prescribed by blah, 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 blah. I've said, we're the agency, correct? All of the commissioners here? So if there should be any hiring done, or even for like something like these advisors, I think that our opinions should be taken into consideration. I think that there should be resumes presented to us to give us a choice. I don't believe that a few people should have a meeting and discuss it and say, this is what we're going to do. Here's the resolution. Now vote on it. I
don't
really
dis-
think,
I don't
because
disagree.
then,
I don't disagree
because then
with
you
you.
don't need us.
No,
Then
no,
you don't need us.
Commissioner,
You
but
just need
these Phoenix
people at the top.
Phoenix advisor, as Mike indicated, was hired by this body last July.
Well, that was
So you
before.
already had hired him. I'm assuming it was, everybody knew that. My appointment was done, I think when I started working, probably in December, January. My appointment actually took place in March. When I attended the first meeting, I mentioned that we're gonna be bringing all the work at the borough now, and everything is gonna be done here. You were paying CME administrator. She's a great person, great We're bringing all that in-house. We had talked about all of those things. We agreed that we want to do that.
No,
But
no.
hiring of Denise, and I think there's some question about hiring about Denise. Denise, we agreed on a shared service agreement. We're using services of the borough staff on a different area. Denise is an employee of the borough. They have gone through the vetting process of hiring. And I had requested that instead of hiring separate people for our agency, that we employee of the borough. And then there may be additional hiring. We made some changes already with our CFO position. So those are all gone through the discussion process. So
They were all
yes,
discussed after the fact. After the fact.
it's possible that we may have, no, I don't think we did it after the fact on everything, but some is going to happen. As we are going through a transition and recovering, understanding of a lot of issues, we're recovering from that. We're working on a lot of history. And you'll see in some of my report, you'll see on discussion. So that's where this has been hiring. I don't think it was totally unknown. I think we had discussed this thing. We agreed that we need to do this, and in order to bring the work in-house and do it here, rather than using all the professional services or everything, that we need to have a people.
So you're taking someone, so who's paying Denise? We're paying Denise, correct?
We're paying part of her salary.
salary.
Right, and that's what the
And
resolution
the
is.
borough's paying the rest of it.
Right, right.
But my point is that we weren't given, and nothing against Denise at all. We were not given any options as to whom we were going to hire. Same thing in your case. We were not given an option. We were just told this is going to be the new executive director.
Well, I think
don't
that,
think that's right.
I don't know, Mike, you can provide an explanation, but the hiring of administrative staff will be a function of executive director and in connection with the chairman. Of course, they have to be voted by you for an approval. But those functions are just like borough, where the administrator does all of those functions and bringing it to council for appointment. It's the same thing here. So,
And there should be
Okay.
options. That's all I'm saying. There should be options.
I go back to 5C, NOP and Q.
Make a motion to approve on roll call vote.
Second.
Joan? Yes.
Mr. Grillo?
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Yes.
Ms. Fisher?
Yes.
Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes.
Thank you, Joan. New business? Any new business?
Chairman, if I may, I want to cover my administrative report.
Please.
We didn't specifically list it on the agenda.
Oh, if we could, under new business also, can I include Vina's report and as you're preparing? Because I know Vina, you have to leave. Do you have a report that you need, anything presented? Okay. Well, thank you.
Chairman, if I may, April 25th, Executive Director's Report, and the copy was distributed today. Item one, number one, 2024 budget. The budget is introduced today. Obviously, it's part of our package introduced today, and a public hearing is planned for June 13th. Since our meetings are scheduled for second Thursday of the month, starting May, the time required between the introduction and adoption is not sufficient. Therefore, the hearing and potential adoption will be in June. Item number two, 2022 audit. The audit is underway by the auditor. Advised me that audit should be completed by the end of April 2024. There may be some additional delay, in terms of some records issue, but we should be coming to an end for 2022 audit soon. 2023 audit, the 2023 audit will begin immediately upon finalization of 2022 audit. The goal is to complete audit in timely manner. Item number 4, Arsenal Trade Center, Section 1 Pilot Agreement. Council introduced ordinance to approve the pilot agreement on, and I missed the date, I think at the last meeting. The public hearing is scheduled for April 29, 2023. Sarah will do a short presentation trying to explain the pilot and specific information on Arsenal Trade Center. Both Commissioner Grillo and I will be present at the meeting. I encourage all commissioners to send a letter of support to the council. As I understand, the Sera has unanimously approved the pilot agreement with the Arsenal. So Mike and I spoke about it. Because of the number of people will be present, Commissioner Grillo, Commissioner Roberts as a councilwoman, and Commissioner Zabrowski as a councilman, that we cannot have other commissioner present at the meeting, to support. That was my initial intent, saying we all should be there to support. But what I recommend that you send a letter of support to the to member of the council. And it's important. One of the Sarah's function in a financial agreement and redevelopment process, pilot is kind of part of it, the whole process. And it's important because otherwise, if we start promising pilot and then it's not approved, I don't think we're gonna attract more developers as we want to. Item number 5, Inside Development Club Pure requested to begin negotiation approved for the pilot agreement by council. The financial agreement approved by Sera included approval of pilot agreement. Our financial consultant, municipal advisor, has negotiated terms and conditions on pilot. We'll be sending recommendation to the council for introduction in May. And the bills that we mentioned about it, that you saw, is related to that project. Item number 6, and that's the next one. Denise Zelensky began working for Sera effective April 18, 2024. She's working for Sera under our Sera service agreement approved by both Sera and Borough. Sera will reimburse Borough for her salary and benefit costs. Item number 7, Chairman Zabrowski, Planner Sawant, and I met with Kevin and Mike from Riverton at the site office and had briefing on the status of Riverton. Riverton is somewhat delayed in groundbreaking for fast food restaurant and Bass Pro Shop, but still scheduled for sometimes during early summer. As soon as the date is finalized, Sera plan to organize groundbreaking ceremony. Also, Chairman Borough Administrator now on a biweekly virtual call, and including myself with Sera attorney and engineer to discuss the status of the project. I just want to report to the commissioner good news. I got an email just this afternoon where they have already signed lease agreement with the one vendor for retail shop. They are in the process of finalizing with the second retail shop. I was advised today not to name it, and so I'm not naming it, but I think people know who they are working with it. And I also got a word that Bass Pro, which is well-known, big board, will be coming for a building permit sometimes later this year. So I think that this thing that has been 25 years should now people start seeing the finalization of that. So I think that's a good news. There were other item in that, more technical, that is to be, mostly to deal with, to our engineer to deal with it. But I thought that was a two good positive news that we received from them today. Item number 8, Assistant Executive Director brought in 7 boxes of records to Borough Hall from his office. We are now in process of sorting out the information and filing necessary documents at Borough Hall.
Thank you,
And that concludes my report, Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, I have a question. So concerning the Arsenal, project number 4, just if my memory could be refreshed, when was that vote taken by Sarah to approve, which is council introduced an ordinance and then I thought that's what I heard you say, was that Sarah had already approved. When was that? Was that 2020, 2021?
Thank you. It was, I believe, November or December of 21 or 22. We don't vote to approve, we vote to recommend.
Right.
And working with the BA and with Phoenix Consulting, we've improved on the pilot that Sarah initially recommended so that there's additional revenues going to the borough. And there's another item on the agenda in terms of a community benefit contribution that had been negotiated with an additional $1 million contribution. So the recommendation was for a pilot that was good. And in the intervening year and a half, working with the BA and with Phoenix, we've gotten it to be a better position so that the council felt comfortable introducing the ordinance.
And then my second question, I wasn't aware of anything going on at Club Pure, so could the director perhaps just explain to us what the expectation is for that May meeting?
This is another one, just like the Arsenal, Sarah, I believe, and I have to get you the exact date. And I recently learned this when I received a call that Sarah has already approved, planning board has approved this redevelopment, and the project has been approved. It hasn't started construction process, and the pilot negotiation took place last year, I believe. Am I correct, Glenn? Last year? And so, but again, because the Arsenal project pilot didn't go through, this was all, for whatever reason, developers was waiting. Recently, he approached me and we recirculated. And then I learned that it was already approved. All the process is completed. So now it's the final financial agreement that council has to vote on. So we figure that it doesn't make sense to work on that until we finish the Arsenal project pilot agreement. And hopefully some of the questions can be answered. I don't think that there is any more further negotiation on Arsenal project. The town administrator has already indicated to me that they have gone through and already increased and Phoenix Advisor obviously has increased the contribution under the pilot agreement.
But concerning Club Pure, Sarah has never considered or approved.
Yes, they have recommended. They are conditional
Club Pure I'm
redevelopment.
asking about, not the Arsenal.
We've done the application, we've recommended it, we've done a redevelopment agreement.
Right.
And and the borough has approved it at the planning board. But I don't believe we ever recommended to the borough. I'll have to go back
Okay,
and look at the.
right. So that's what, we're gonna have to start that recommendation process. But what I was referring to is that the conditional developer were appointed by Sarah. In the redevelopment agreement was already approved by Sarah. And that the only thing that is now the last piece of the puzzle is the financial agreement and pilot. So we're gonna, now that we learned that, we're gonna make a final review, bring it to the Sarah, then we recommend to the council, and then council take action.
And what is the intended redevelopment at Club Pure?
It's
Self-storage.
self-storage.
I had one other how many more of these mystery pilots that never were approved are there? Because we're getting hit with a lot of them. I appreciate that you're doing your Sherlock Holmes work to discover this, but is there any idea how many of these have been floating around for the last 5 years?
If I tell you I do, I'm lying. No.
All right.
We're learning. I think some of the work with the help of Justin, we're starting to put together all active projects list now. And then once I get that all completed, then I'm gonna, at one of, next meeting, maybe next or two meetings, we'll bring it in front of the Sera, so you guys, you all know. Now, while I can't speak, there was members here were on Sera board. They may be able to, shed light on it.
Mr. Chairman, can I make a recommendation or request? Anytime we have something dating back 2 or 3 years that Sarah approved or recommended, can I request that a copy of that executed resolution or agenda accompany the documents? Because trying to go back through my records to see what pilots were approved or were not approved, like, as you said, it's been a few years and there's a lot of stuff that has gone on. And we want to make sure that Sarah is looking out for the best interests of the people within the borough.
Absolutely. And I think it's a good idea that, Mike, we should include, when we come back for insight, for example, all the historical records we should share with all the commissioner.
Absolutely. Commissioner, we'll get you the resolution. And to Commissioner Grillo's question, I think you can assume that everybody who has a redevelopment project wants a pilot. The only ones that I'm aware of that are active are Trammell Crow and the
Self-storage.
self-storage. The folks from the landfill are in discussions with the financial consultant.
Who came to present to us in January.
And the second Insight project on Main Street, they would like one, I'm sure, but they haven't come and talked to Sarah.
There are other projects that I'm aware of that has been approved as a redevelopment project, but no further action by the developer itself. So down the road, they're gonna be coming in front of us and eventually.
Thank you.
Any other questions for the Borough Mansion? The report, yeah.
If we go back to when things happen, if we could get a timeline of all of the significant events, like when the council adopted, when it's presented, when Sierra has a resolution, just because it goes through years, because I did that kind of analysis for the Arsenal timeline, and it goes back 2017, I think, is when it started. And the last known date was May 29th, 2018, when an ordinance was adopted that I'm aware of. And that was just because I did my own research to see how these things progress. So it goes over years. So if we can have like significant milestones when we talk about that, that would be useful.
Anything else for new business? Make a motion to close new business?
So moved.
Thank you. Pending matters, waterfront development, Justin?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have an update. It's been a busy month at Riverton. Himanshu mentioned that they did sign that lease and they're moving forward with the second one. In that area that's called the Gateway Service District, all utility materials have been delivered to the site, and installation of the water, storm sewer, sanitary sewer, and under-drain network will begin next week. The work will begin on 3 traffic signals in Riverton crossings there. That's expected to take 3 months. They have submitted their initial design package for the Victory substation that they submitted it to the utility companies for comment. After that, they will submit it to the engineer and to Sera, hopefully sometime this summer. They completed all welding work for large diameter HDPE storm sewer that was in the Village East and the Village West. And they completed the underground segment of the Riverton Force Main on the MCUA property. That was mentioned last meeting. That's been completed. They completed some clearing and grubbing work on the background area on the site. They will begin removal of surface organics, and then they will start with structural backfill in this area to be completed sometime this summer. And then last, they have been doing some structural fill on the area remediated by the TiO2. That was that highly contaminated area. The contamination is removed and the structural backfill is continuing now and should reach development subgrade sometime in May. That's my report. Thank you.
On to resolution. Resolution A, resolution of the Sera Economic Redevelopment Agency approving second amendment to redevelopment agreement between Sera Economic and Redevelopment Agency and Parliament Section 1 Urban Renewal LLC. Mike, I know that you had briefly discussed that, but we can go into a little bit more detail.
Absolutely, Chairman. The agency has had a redevelopment agreement with the developer of the site for several years. And during the course of the pilot negotiations with the borough, a topic came up of, well, the borough would like, in addition to the pilot, a community benefit contribution to provide greater benefits to the town. If those commissioners who have been here for a while know that for the Riverton project, we negotiated 20-some million, actually closer to $40 million of additional contributions on top of the pilot. Here, obviously, a much smaller project. The town and financial advisor negotiated $1 million contribution from the developer, one-time payment in addition to the pilot. That language had been in the pilot. In talking with Himanshu, the township attorney, or borough attorney, myself, and the BA, we feel that that $1 million contribution more appropriately is in the agreement with Sera, not in the pilot agreement. Pilot agreements deal with pilot payments. Redevelopment agreements deal with payments like this. So all we're doing is adding the $1 million payment to the borough into the redevelopment agreement with the developer.
And Mike, it was not in a previously recommended pilot agreement to the council.
Correct. We did
So
not.
this is a subsequent, and I think, I wasn't here when this $1 million was negotiated. It was negotiated by our BA. So kudos to him for, actively pursuing that and adding more for the borough, for the community impact analysis.
Now, that's a community benefit donation, so to speak, correct?
Yes.
Which goes to the borough,
Correct.
and then where is it dispersed?
Whenever the mayor and council decide. There's no strings attached.
No.
Well, but it's limited to community,
Right,
I
like what are
think- I
the
think
community benefits that
right,
are,
It's for, primarily my understanding is that mayor and councils are looking at using the funds for the parks improvements. I think it's much needed project, and I think it's a good use.
Much needed,
Including,
much needed
including Bailey
project.
Park is one of the primary,
Yes.
should be primary recipient.
I have three off the top of my head I could tell you need improving.
Yeah, we'd had extended discussions about getting a contribution for Bailey Park, but we could never get to agreement with the redeveloper. Glenn was able to get to agreement with the redeveloper.
Chairman, I have two brief questions just for clarification for the record. So this is the Arsenal Trammell Crow project. It wasn't said, so I just want everybody to know that whatever the, I know Parlin Section 1 Urban Renewal LLC is a very catchy name.
Yeah, that's
Yes, so I just wanted to clarify that for the record. And then this is a resolution of this body, so this goes into effect upon signature. This does not require any action from the governing body.
Correct.
Okay.
This is primarily the agreement is modified.
Right.
Can I get a motion to accept in a second?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, John? Yes.
Mr. Bella?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mrs. Duffy?
Yes,
Ms. Fisher?
Yes.
Councilwoman Rowland?
Yes.
Thank you, John. B, resolution introducing the 2024 agency budget and scheduling a public hearing on June 13th, 2024. Any additional discussion?
If you, Wayne is here, he has included in a package to all the commissioner, a simple spreadsheet, because the state form is elaborate, more complicated. So there is a simple spreadsheet form in your package, looks like this, and Wayne will go over with you on that.
Yes,
this is in a simplified form of about 100-page document that gets uploaded to the state. The first items, we begin with the revenues. Uh, Just hold on a moment. You know what, there's a page there's the appropriations page, I believe, is missing from this. Well, yeah, you know what? It could have been left off in transit to Denise. But at any rate, the revenues expected by the agency, it consists of administration fees, which are basically redevelopment fees that we're receiving right now, we're receiving them right now from Riverton, Secure Space Holdings, and Trammell Crow. That's one of the names for the warehouses on Cheesequake Road. The interest on investments, reimbursements from developers are basically the escrow fees, consist of both the escrow fees that are collected to fund the reviews by the professionals, as well as the general, what we call it, the general expenses, that other expenses that would be incurred for the projects. The developers agreement has to do with the Riverton debt service that's outstanding. Maybe Himanshu or the attorney, Mike Baker, can explain that in more detail. That's been something that's been carried on a book since almost the inception of the Riverton project as it's known now. But this is going to be reimbursed by the developer. It's a loan that was granted by the County of Middlesex for some portion of the project. Lease agreements that have been in effect over the years is Verizon for leasing, and Riverton for, I believe, billboards, an area of the billboards. And then the retained earnings, it's actually, the $100,000 is coming from the retained earnings of the Sera funds. 100,000 to be appropriated to the borough. It's really, it's an offsetting item. I don't,
I am looking at the email that received from you, it has the revenue side. Do you have
I said it,
email we can
probably
distribute it to
can.
the commissioner?
yeah, I can do the appropriations from I have a copy of the
Okay.
full budget.
You don't have it on in your email that we can share with the commissioner to open it up. Or we can bring it up on the screen.
What's that?
You have a electronic.
No, I don't know. Okay. The appropriate,
Hold on, you have a page with you on the appropriation?
I have,
Yeah, we can just quickly run and make copies.
no, I don't have a copy of it. Okay, I'm using
State report.
I'm taking it from the full budget that gets uploaded to the Trenton.
So that we have, commissioner has a piece of paper in their hand. It's the 2-page on, budget.
Okay, you ready? Okay,
These are the pages?
yeah, it's the fiscal year 2024 proposed budget, general operating appropriations. It's really, yeah, 2 pages because the total went over to the next page. Yeah.
And Chairman, I can talk about the history of the loan with the county.
You're good.
Okay, so almost 20 years ago, the County Improvement Authority loaned Sera over $33 million to pay for the condemnation of the National Lead property. It involved litigation with National Lead for many years. We were brought on board as things were transitioning, and we were able to work out a settlement with National Lead, the county, and the developer, SSA, who's doing the Riverton project, where almost all of the county loan would be paid back, and over $50 million more was paid by the redeveloper to National Lead because the property value came in around $85 million, and we got the redeveloper to pick up the remediation costs. Everything but about $3 million was repaid to the county at that point. There wasn't enough money in the $85 million deal to pay everything, so the county said, we'll wait so long as when the project gets going, we get the first money out of the pilot to pay us back. So in essence, there's what we call a pilot and an add-on pilot on Riverton. There's the main pilot, which is a traditional one, and then there's another pilot that was done as a special assessment. So we call it a second pilot. So the county will be paid by the redeveloper and the tenants and the commercial businesses there, not by Sera or the borough. And they've been very gracious in allowing us to kind of slide until that happens. Of course, everybody thought it would happen 10 years ago, then the Great Recession happened, but now it's starting to happen, and the county's very happy that they will start seeing that debt repaid. Because it's outstanding, we have to show it in the budget every year.
Is it interest on this?
Yes, 2%. Not bad.
It's accumulating, and I believe the developers, when the closing last floor is when we start making something.
The first pilot payments that come in go towards paying this. So whether it's Bass Pro pilot or the highway services pilots, the first money goes to pay down this.
Wayne, is there anything you can continue with, or were we just waiting?
She's on her way back.
Okay, I'll become, yeah, let Denise distribute it so that if there's any questions on the items as I go through the items. That would do it. Okay, the first item under the appropriations for administration personnel is salary and wages and fringe benefits for the total personnel administration of $216,000. The salaries are comprised of the director, the executive director, the chief financial officer, and the clerical positions. The next item consists of miscellaneous administration. That would be office supplies, technology supplies, those types of items, okay? For a total administration budget of $236,000. Cost of providing services other, consisting of legal fees, engineering, appraisals, audit, and miscellaneous cost of providing services is $432,000. The miscellaneous cost of providing services consists of the planner, $20,000, miscellaneous, $11,000, and public relations, $15,000. The offsetting, the offset,
We haven't selected yet or appointed anybody. We're just, because there was no budget, so now it's in the budget. We'll be coming forward and it will be, you will be approving an agreement for the public relation.
okay, the next item is the actual appropriation to repay the loan, 3,800,000. It's offset by the revenues anticipated on the other side of the budget. And then again, there's the municipality appropriation to the municipality for $100,000, which then totals appropriations of $4,568,000.
So the $100,000 is being given to the borough. The $100,000 is from Sarah's fund as a kind of seed money given to borough for, expand on the sort of parks facility projects. So that's the purpose of that money will be given to the borough.
That's it. Yep. Any other questions on any items?
Was the $3 million that you were talking about on this form at all? I just missed.
Yes, it's the 3.8 million. Commissioner, right above 4.468 is 3.8 million.
Oh, there it is. Okay, thank you.
Again, this is a budget. There are individual appropriations that the commissioners will have to approve at meetings, such as the legal, the engineering payments, the PR person, the donation. Those things are all decisions for the commissioners to make, but you can't make those decisions if you don't first put it in the budget.
So Mike is correct that, this sets the plan. This is considered a plan of the financial plan. But anything we do here, the commissioner has to take a vote. That's why we have a bill list and payment that you approve it. It's something that under your jurisdiction, so you have to approve it. This budget should have been,
I'm
this.
sorry, I just have to ask.
Can I finish mine and then certainly you can ask question? This budget should have been actually adopted last November. We're almost 6 months late into the budget introduction.
Well, introduced in November, I believe, and
We just
adopted by
adopted-
December. Yeah,
Right.
before the start of the fiscal year. Right.
And the part of the reason was we never had, we realized we never had a 2023 budget approved or adopted or approved by the state. Once you approve this, if the commissioner approves the budget, it will then has to go to the state approval process before we can adopt. I'm hoping that as soon as we finish this, we're going to start working on 2025 budget. Because by October, we should be coming in front of you with a budget plan and everything and hopefully adopt that by December of 2024. Okay. Commissioner, you have a question?
I'll keep it. No, I have to give it some more thought.
Okay.
Seriously, I really do. 'Cause, I'll just keep those thoughts to myself for right.
I have nothing else.
Can I have a motion on the resolution for resolution introducing the 2024 agency budget and scheduling the public hearing on June 13th, 2024?
So moved.
We get a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Zabrowski.
Yes.
Grillo.
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Mr. Davis. Yes. Mr. Duffy. Yes. Ms. Fisher. Yes. Councilwoman Robert.
Yes.
Next one is the resolution authorizing explanation, reason for the delay is what I told you. We are going through the transition, hence the budget introduction is delayed. We had the same explanation for 2023 budget, and I think state did accepted that, and they understand.
Thank you. Also, Joan, if you could go back to the first resolution, can you just tell us who made the motion and seconded?
Thank you.
Thank you. And D, resolution of the Sera Economic and Redevelopment Agency to go into executive closed session. Will there be a need for that this evening?
I don't have anything.
No, we have.
Chairman, did we skip C?
We have to vote on C,
We voted on
Vote on C. I apologize.
and then E is the reason to go into closed.
Oh, see, it's not on. Okay.
E should be, we have to do E before you, this is a little bit of reversal.
Okay, so let's do C first. Resolution authorizing the explanation of the reason for the delay in submission of the 2024 budget. May I have a
I'll
motion?
make a motion. for that.
Second,
I'll second.
roll call, please.
Councilman Zabrowski.
Yes.
Mr. Grillo.
Yes.
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 We're going to go to E first. My question on E is before we go into whether we're going to approve or not approve, is this something that any commissioner would like to discuss in the executive session? If so, I will move with C first and go into executive session. All right, hearing none, I'm going to go to E, resolution of the Saraville Economic Redevelopment Agency appointing Denise Shalinski as administrative assistant of the agency from April 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2024.
I'll make that motion.
I get a second?
I'll second.
Roll call? Steve? Yes.
Mr. Grillo.
Yes.
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 Councilwoman Robert.
Yes.
Is there a need for D?
I don't have anything for D, Chairman.
I don't have any.
All right, so I don't.
Dave, any?
So no need to go into executive session, so I'm not
I
going
just
to.
have a question. Were we gonna get a revised copy of the resolution from the last meeting? That the CFO's, adjustment?
Absolutely, yeah. We marked it up at the meeting. We'll get you the final
We were
version.
gonna get a copy of it. right?
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
Number 9, commissioners' comments? Anything from the commissioners? What's that?
We just do a round.
We could do however you want. You'd like to start, Donna? By all means.
I will. A couple of comments. It's just my observation. There's a lot going on. This is a new team here, want to work together. There's a lot of moving parts and a lot of things we each need to learn. So we need to work off of each other's strengths. I'd like to see this be more of a team than anyone trying to accuse someone of trying to do something. I just want it to work as a good team, ask good questions, where we all have strengths, we all have weaknesses, and just to find an understanding at each of our meetings. So I want to see us work together well that way. And I think we've got a lot of good professionals here now to guide us, and I want to take advantage of that and leverage that. And I appreciate some of the work that's been done and the backgrounds, and I've learned a lot already from this new team. So I'm very appreciative of that, and I'm looking forward to some of the good outcomes and the potential, and especially want to thank Commissioner Grillo for the great presentation and kicking us off into a project that can benefit our town so greatly. So I want to say thank you for that.
Thank you.
Just thank you all for your participation with the survey, and I look forward to continuing the conversation. And thank you, Chairman, for starting the workshop effort.
I want you to know I am very excited about what's going on this body and this commission, and I look forward to working with each and every one of you going forward this year and hopefully in other coming years.
Thank you, Ken. Paul?
I've learned over the years, I was told one time that the only stupid question is the one that wasn't asked. And therefore, if you're going to learn, you have to ask. And a lot of people that if you're new in a situation, you learn by asking. If some people see that as confrontational, that's unfortunate because that's not how it's meant. It's meant to gather information. And the presentation was fabulous.
Thank you. Thank you, Paul.
I'm definitely learning a lot. Just being a member of Sera and I hope that the old members, I saw the correspondence come out about going back through the training for redevelopment, because I'm pretty sure the state statutes have changed since I've gone through the training. So, and I didn't get in time for the class that's being presented now because I checked. But the next time they offer a class, I will have my name on that list. Also, excellent presentation, because like Dave said, and I'm not going to tell my age, but there used to be a very active downtown area, but then they didn't have as much traffic as we have now, you know, and these streets, Angletown, these streets you're trying to maneuver around are so narrow that just getting the trucks that deliver any type of supplies into this area causes traffic to back up all the way to MacArthur. So I think that's an excellent presentation. In addition to that, I always thought that Sera could only develop property that they actually own. But listening to your presentation, I thought the redevelopment would be something that would be created by whomever is creating the master plan, the planners of the town, and then that would be taken over by the council, who are the actual leaders of the town. And I learned something. I learned that Sera can spearhead that, which is excellent because I love projects, and I love learning. So thank you.
Bob?
I just look forward to working with everybody. And I thought that presentation was really good, Steve. It's going to take time.
I want to thank all the commissioners for their comments, as well as our professionals tonight for their added insights, particularly to the Main Street or our downtown area. I think it's a tremendously worthy project for discussion, and hopefully Sera will play a pivotal role in moving our council as well as our other boards forward as well. I think it's crucial for our community. And Paul, just a comment, comments, questions are always open and welcome. We don't look them as confrontational at all. One thing I can tell you is if we don't have an answer, we'll get an answer. Sometimes it's not right away because it may not be available at that
Or it may
moment.
not be what I want to hear.
Well, but that's okay too, right? Because I think having different interests and different viewpoints is important to
Absolutely.
development of these processes. So I appreciate everybody. I think at this point, we will close our comments and open to the public. Take a motion for opening the public.
So moved.
Second.
Do we need a roll call on that?
No roll call.
No roll call? Anybody from the public? Can I take a motion to close public
So
portion?
moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Can I take a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
You need a roll call or all in favor? All in favor? Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Commissioner, I just want to advise you that